This week we go 4 wide at Miyabi, we get hit at Interlagos, and we decide to redesign the first corner at Le Mans. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2022. It's week 4 and this week is a lot of overtaking, I've got to be honest, and there's going to be a little bit of carnage in some of these races, but we'll get to that shortly. First up, Gran Turismo 7. Yes, we are 39 days away from that. I am seriously looking forward to it. Hope you are too. Let me know down in the comments if you are, or in the premiere chat if you are watching the premiere. Right, this week, first up, Race A, Miyabi, as you can see in the background in the Miadas. Let's have a look at the race details then. This week, we are racing 8 laps here at Miyabi. It's a grid start with traction control 1 and sports medium tyres. Quite a normal combo in the grand scheme of it. We've done it before. We've done it quite recently, actually. And as we know, when we last did it, there is a lot of action here and lots of chances for contacts, people diving, people not giving enough room. And we're going to experience that today as well. Before we go to the race, though, we have the timestamps for the video as well. If you're after a particular race and you're not watching the premiere, you can skip to any point in time in the video to find out the piece of information you are after from this week's races. Let's jump to the race then, and let's have a look exactly what happened in Race A. We are then at the start. Pop-up headlights, flash away. Nice to see a lot of flashing going on there, although everyone stopped. I'm spamming that button, of course. Chelsea's back here. We've got Auto Rogue 1 there as well. A few other people in the lobby who said hello. So shout out to you. Brake balance 0. And as I said in the intro, traction control 1 here, just to be safe off the line. And off we go. Chelsea, unfortunately, gets a bit of wheel spin. Thunderfoot does as well up ahead. So we're going to gain that place from Chelsea. Stolen! Yoink! We've got it. Thank you, Chelsea. As we head into turn 1 then. And we want to stay on the inside here, really. Although Thunderfoot just goes a bit slower than expected. So now I'm just a little tap there. Nothing major. Carries on. And now I'm looking to see if I can get the position. So Thunderfoot goes towards the right. I don't like being on the left here. It's a very scary place. So I'm sort of backing out of this. Hoping to then get the cut back. Little tap from behind. Nothing major. But we do get it done. Happy days, up another position right behind Auto Rogue 1 straight off the bat. Although the French driver comes in very, very sharp there. Not sure whether they were hit behind or not. Can we get that position? We just lift off here. We don't want to go too wide through here. It's guaranteed penalty. If you cut that corner, you do have to be very careful as we carry on onto lap 2. As you see it. Whoa, where are they going? My word. Off to the right for them. In towards turn 1 we go. And let's have a look what happens here. Oh, they're 3 wide. They're 4 wide in turn 1. Do not do this, because you will not benefit. Or I will benefit here as I get 2 positions. But somebody heads to the realm there. Meets barrier. But we do get 2 positions. And we're alongside another driver here. F288 GTO. Now, from memory, I couldn't remember whether this driver was dirty or not. For some reason, I remember the name. I have no idea why. But fortunately, they're not dirty in this race. So I have a good race here as I get a tap on the rear. Oh, a little bit sideways. But we managed to hold it. And Fuzzy Daddy there. Actually, it backed out of the corner as well. You don't want too wide there. It's very hard to do. And it can cause crashes. So very smart driving there from Fuzzy Daddy behind. Anyway, in the curves position we go. And we're advancing a bit further on here as we catch up to the French driver again. So going through here. What are they going to do? They're going to go defensive. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just break my normal line. They did break slightly late. We're going for this. A beautiful inside. Look at that. That is perfection. Bellissimo. I don't know what it is in French, so I don't know. Baguette. There we go. We carry on. So we see an Italian up ahead with a penalty. They're going to be going very slowly. And let's see what Auto Rogue 1 does go towards the inside. And then we're going to try and look down there as they go very, very, very wide. And we get this position. Now, I'd advise not braking in this corner too much. It does cause understeer, as you'll see shortly. However, we are looking to get this position done and dusted. The Italian is still there, though. So we're going to have to be very careful as we come into this side by side. I'm lifting off completely. Although they turn right there, force me onto the curb. And I have to slow right down here to avoid hitting them anymore. If you do turn in early there, like the Italian, and force somebody on the curb, you are going to cause them to bounce off it, like what happened to me. And it's going to cause your own incident. Be very careful about turning in early. Lap guide time. So you want to turn before the end of the curb on the left. Now I've highlighted a tree on the right. It's the last tree on the right. In time trial, as that tree gets to the edge of your screen, you let off. I let off a bit before here because I've got slipstream. Now notice the braking of Auto Rogue 1. Don't brake here because it forces understeer. Try and keep above 90 miles an hour through the corner. and we get that position as well. Lovely bit of driving. Auto Rogue One did see me coming through as well. A shout out for your awareness. In towards the left then, you want to use the curb on the left and then really chuck it right. You want the whole of the weight so that it goes through the corner. You will have to lift a little bit here. And as we head towards this hairpin, brake before the start of the curb on the left-hand side. Basically, you want to brake and you're coming down the gears and you're going to go to second gear. You might be able to do it in third. The problem is if you don't stay in the power band, you're going to struggle. Now, I think Auto Rogue One managed to stay in the power band there because he gets a really good run out the corner. Here, you want to straight line this, then go left, clip the curb and then straight line this last bit. As long as you're touching the curb, you will not get a penalty. We advance towards the end of the race then where nothing really changes. We just stay in P3, but a podium in the first race I'll take. You saw some good racing. You also saw some bad racing there. This one is a bit of fun. I would recommend trying it just for 1 or 2 races, but do be careful. Let's head to race B. Here we are then at the most common combo, or one of the most common combos anyway in Gran Turismo. It's Interlagos and it's Group 3. Now the reason it is common is because this is the Balance of Performance track, or it used to be at least. I suspect they did keep it as the Balance of Performance track. Lots of handling in there, lots of speed in there, and some up and down bits as well. So you can test a lot of the car's ability here. So we'll talk about car choice in a second. Let's have a look at the race details. We're racing 5 laps here at Interlagos. It's a rolling start, but no need to worry about that here. And it's racing medium tyres, so nice and grippy. Standard stuff here for race B. I chose the Porsche this time because it's Group 3 Interlagos. Pick what you like. As I say, it used to be the Balance of Performance track. Most cars will do very well, and most cars will have a decent race here in Group 3. A shout out to Lex9999 from Driver's Room for this livery. As I went with the Porsche, something different. I've not used this livery before. Shout out to you for that livery. It's beautiful. There was a quality Lamborghini one as well this week. I can't remember who did it, but do type in the tag Tidgney. You can check them all out on the Discover section. There are some fantastic ones. And if you want to submit yours, tag it with Tidgney. I have a look every week, and then I pick a livery to go out and race with. Right, that's it of me talking. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look at this one. You will see most of the race here because there's a lot of action, a few incidents, and a lap guide as well. Here we are then at the start. As you see, a mixture of cars here. We've got a Lexus, Porsche, AMG. We've got a lot of Peugeot RCZs, which is expected. Supra was top of the leaderboards at the time, which was expected. And we have Shelty, of course, in the Beetle there, or the Yeetle, as Ollie calls it. Brake balance of 0 for the Porsche this time. Brake balance is personal preference, of course, but I'm using 0, so there you have it. Now, normally we go into a lap guide at the start of race B. I say normally, the past couple of weeks we haven't. And this week, again, we are not going into a lap guide. We're going to go straight into the action here as we start to catch Shelty heading towards turn 1 then. What are we going to do? Heading there. Let's have a look then. Into turn 1 we go. Kind of should be easy here. But we are catching everybody quite quickly here. A long line of cars, so lots of action to come. As we come through here, Shelty gets slowed up on the apex there by Lucky Luke as we continue on through. So I was hoping to follow Shelty here through and gain a position as Shelty starts to look towards the left in the beat. Technically, that's another Porsche, isn't it? We're in the Porsche Cup here as we go into left. But Shelty gets that done. Beautiful stuff. Luke gets a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, it looks like, and then was on the inside. But just going to squeeze me out here. And I'm pushing back here. I'm like, no, I'm on the inside here, mate. You can't just push me off the circuit. Goes for the run round the outside. Good little effort, actually, to defend this position as we then head in towards this right-hander. And it looks like they're going to keep the position now, but they're going a bit too deep. So we're going to try around the outside here. And they tried to accelerate through that, but then they straighten up here and push me off the circuit. I wasn't happy with that. And looking back at this footage now, they definitely did straighten the wheel. Was not impressed. It was strike 1 in my head while I was racing as well as we continue on them. But I could see they were struggling. So, you know, it's just a case of, you know, there's not acceptable driving just to straighten your wheel like that. But they are on the pad, I think, looking at how they were driving. I think I saw some flashing lights at some point in the race. We will see anyway as we continue on then. So, look at Luke outside of the slipstream. We are in it, of course, so we're looking to try and get the move done at the end of this straight then, as we will have a huge overrun here on the Porsche. Where are they going? They go towards the right-hand side. We look towards the left, in towards the braking zone we go, and we're not alongside here, so we have to back out of this for now. Slight tap there, nothing major. As we see a Peugeot RCZ appear from nowhere there. And no idea what happened to Astral Martin, but hey, we get a position for free. Happy days. So let's have a look towards left and left and left. And they're pushing me out. They're making it shorter. I'm like, no, you can't do that, mate. Give me room. And in towards the braking zone we go. And they keep coming across like that. You have to be careful about doing that. Unfortunately, that's their downfall as they go onto the slippery stuff. And we contact the barrier as well as they came back on circuit. But we do get it. We get that position. Let's fast forward a bit further on here then, because coming into here, I was very surprised to see a couple of cars off in the realms there. There's a Greek, and then we have a Spaniard here, GT Jägermeister, as we continue. Has anyone had some Jaeger bombs lately? That's just what that reminds me of. In towards the right-hander we go. I'll be certainly having some of them in a couple of weeks' time. Anyway, through the left-hander we go. In towards the last corner, and lots of cars up ahead, so we're in the thick of the action here. Plenty of positions still to be made as, Div there goes a little bit oversteery, a little bit drifto, and we're looking to gain that position. We're in the slipstream of Shelty, so we should get this now, and we do indeed. Happy days. P10 it is. And what we're going to do now is go into that lap guide, and this is the best lap to do it on because it's all action from here. So heading towards turn 1, you've got these 2 red canopies, okay? You're looking for the second one as your brake marker in nearly all cars. It's the one I use most as well. The second one, the first one's sort of your warning. Second one is where you brake at. Now, I'm heading towards second gear here. You want to clip the curb a little bit more here. You want to be far to the left here to give you a good run on the right. I have to lift a little bit more here because I wasn't as far left as I wanted to be. But then we can accelerate through this corner. Job done. Settle down a little bit here. We are in the slipstream, so we have to be careful of braking zones here as we head towards this left-hander. And on the right side, we're going to use the end of the wall or the 100-meter board here. You can just see I've just started braking at this very moment. I've just started to come off and start braking. Come off the throttle, go hard on the brakes there, and in we go. So second gear, you want to clip the curb here and accelerate through. I get slowed up a little bit by the Spaniard, who just lost the position to Shelty there, as we've got 2 pink cars up ahead then. As we head towards the right-hander, we can't really see it, so I'm going to lift off a little bit, and then what I should actually be doing is braking at the 50-meter board. I couldn't see it, so I'll back out a little bit early. I see the previous boards. I go, okay, I'm approaching the 50. I'll back out early so I don't rear-end the Spaniard here, and through we go. So double apex corner this. You want to hit the second one, especially as we then head towards this right-hander. I normally brake as that tire mark crosses the curb there. That's where my actual brake marker is, although I'm braking at the cones here. So if you're using cones, use the cones. In we go then. You want to cut quite a lot of that first part. Give you a nice run for this left-hander here. Don't normally brake for this. Just bounce the car through the corner and continue on as the Supra gets all sorts of sideways here. And we go alongside. So heading towards this right-hander, you got this green AstroTurf. Sometimes you use the signs. We're using the green AstroTurf here. You're braking at some point in there, but not on it. As we go into the braking zone. Spaniard goes a little bit deep here as we leave the corner. It does give me room on the exit though, and we're going to continue on round. You're going to have to lift a little bit here, depending on your line, of course. We have to lift a lot there. Heading towards this last corner, it's the braking marker everybody hates. I use that little circle bit of dead grass there on the right. The long bit of dead grass, it then goes green and then has this circle in it, and that's what I use. I've always used this. As we get a little tap from behind there from the Spaniard. Just braking a little bit late there. Continue on out the corner, but I know the Spaniard behind is going to have slipstream here heading towards turn 1. So I'm going to go defensive here because that's the only thing I can do. I could let him just have it and try and go for it at the left-hander, but I'm going to go defensive here. I want to keep this position. I want to go forward, basically. So heading in towards here then, and we're side by side. I go a little bit deep there. I just missed the apex, but I don't actually touch them. They get a whole load of oversteer and hit me there quite badly. At first, I thought that was a purposeful punt. I will be honest. I was like, oh, what are you doing, mate? Why have you done that? Because we'd had a good race up to them. Well, we're going to have a look at the replay then. So here we are with the Spaniard. We're on board with the Spaniard. So heading in towards turn 1 then. It gives me room on the inside. And you can just see there, I go a little bit deep. There's a little bit of contact, but look at that oversteer there. And he is trying to then stop it and stop the car as well. So just an incident there. One to look back on and say, okay, fair dues. He didn't apologise after, though. That I'm frustrated with. Because even if you think that you're not at fault or you might have made a mistake, just say apologies. That's all you got to say. We move on with life. Anyway, in towards the right-hander as we're racing GT Jägermeister here. And what a fantastic end to this race you're about to see. This is some absolutely wonderful racing as the Spaniard just keeps the position there. We've got 3 Toyota Supras versus a Porsche. Who is going to win this then? So we've got Jurassic Park livery there. Lovely stuff. You know I like my dinosaurs. As we go through the left-hander, Jurassic World Dominion 2022. This June, I think it is. That's a film I'm going to watch at midnight, I'm sure. Anyway, through the left-hander. Let's see. We've got a little bit of a run on the Supra here. We had a better exit. Oh, it's very tight here. Just giving me just enough room on the inside. Looks like they're going to keep that position for now then. And we've got the other Supra of Div there as Jägermeister goes towards the right-hand side. Now, I saw this happening. I was like, Should I? Shouldn't I? It's day of race B. It's first race of the day. Should I go for it? Yeah, let's go for it anyway. Look at this for a move and a half. Down the middle. We've not quite got it done yet, though. GT Jägermeister giving me room on the exit. That's beautiful stuff. And we're still side by side here. And we get the job done finally. What a move that is. I was thrilled. This is my first... I've been awake for 20 minutes and I've already done a Moses Manoeuvre. Fantastic. Anyway, I got defensive here. Heading towards the left-hander then. In towards the braking zone we go. They're trying around the outside here, so I've got to give some room. Again, some brilliant stuff. Still side by side here. Dave behind, watching all the entertainment. Probably looking for a gap as well as we head towards this right-hander. We're still side by side. I give just enough room on the inside. There's still room there. I can't go for that apex. There is a Jurassic Park Supra there. And in towards the braking zone. And we are still there. Look at this for beautiful racing. A huge, huge shout out to GT Jägermeister for this. This is brilliant stuff. As we come through here, try to go for the cutback. Not going to work out here. We keep that position in towards the braking zone then of the right-hander. We're still on the apex. Slow it down. We accelerate out. Dave just got on the inside of Jurassic Park Supra there. GT Jägermeister. And we are keeping this position for now. But we've got the run to the start-finish line. Remember, that Supra is a quick car. It's faster than the Porsche as we leave that last corner then. It's hard. No, it's increasing. The gap is increasing. I was about to say half a second. It's now 0.6 of a second as we are on the run towards the finish line. And it looks like we are going to keep this position then. What a final lap is, though, that... what a final lap that is. There we go. I can get my words out eventually. I was so excited about that race. A huge shout out to GT Jägermeister. You're definitely my driver of the day. That was superb driving. Dave as well. Shout out to you. Brilliant three-wide moment in towards turn one. What a race. And you will have some good races here because it's the BOP circuit and lots of cars to choose from. Let's head to race C where there's only one car to choose. Welcome back to Le Mans then for race C. Yes, it's only been like 2 weeks and we're back here already. Although we do have chicanes this week, unlike the previous time when we were in GTOs and flying down that straight all the way to Mulsanne Corner and seeing a lot of memes at that corner. Let's have a look at the race details first of all here at race C. It's 5 laps. It's a grid start with the false start check. And we are on the racing hard tyres. There is no strategy at all here with ×1 fuel and ×5 tyre wear. And as you can see, we are in the Red Bull X 2019 car. So we are in the screamer of all cars here. And you do have to be careful in some places with that dirty air. A huge shout out to Mungino from Driver's Room making this livery, guessing correctly in terms of the car choice this week because nobody had any idea what car it was going to be. I was surprised to see a livery. Mungino came through. What an absolute legend. Do check out Driver's Room and Mungino's liveries out. Without further ado then, let's jump to this race then and I'll show you what to do, where to do it and yeah, the 9000 IQ strat in terms of gaining positions. Here we are then at the start. And we do have a couple people flashing. Of course, you know we do flash. We've only got 17 drivers. I'm not sure whether there was even enough to even get 20 in here because the lobby loaded quite quickly. Bit weird. Brake bells have got me -2. That seemed to stabilize the car just a little bit. Now, because it's a standing start, use the handbrake as your brake. Rev the car, traction control on 1. When the lights go out, let go of that handbrake. Now... and off you go, and you notice traction control is enough there. I was a bit undecisive with traction control, 1 or 2. I'd stayed with 1. Seems to work out very well. We've actually already gained here a position, as you see up ahead. Now, I expected carnage into turn 1, and I'm going to show you what to do here. So, into turn 1 we go, and we're going to get pushed out wide here. Bit of contact. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to cut the corner. One thing to know with this game is that you will not get a penalty if you have contact going into the corner. So, I actually gained positions here and didn't get a penalty. So, just keep that in mind. You do get contact there. Just cut the corner, you should be fine. Now, on the right side, they hit a wall. I have no idea what they hit. They just stopped dead. It causes carnage again. I have no idea what they hit. Avoid hitting the curbs on that corner particularly. I'll explain it in the guide as well. It does make the car unstable, but they hit a wall. They literally stopped dead there. It was so random. Now, Tetra Rouge, avoid penalties because as you see here, 0.5 for 2 of them. And I just tested there if I could overtake without slipstream. I couldn't when the other driver has slipstream. So heading into here, I'm just going to let off here. Allow them to go side by side. Maybe take each other out. Wasn't too sure. But in we go. And they both survive. So fair dues. But I wasn't sure why there was so much fighting going on. And I will explain the strategy of where to overtake here to get the best of the best in terms of positions and to make sure you break away as well. So you see, they had the penalty. We're continuing on here, and they're going to go to around about half a second, and then they're going to start catching. So it's not the end of the world for the Spaniard here. They are now in the slipstream, and they are catching as we head towards this chicane then. So keep that in mind with the penalties. It's not said and done if you do get a penalty, because the car is very quick to get up to around 190 miles an hour, and you may still stay in that slipstream, and you may still have a chance, as the Spaniard and German have shown behind. So the Spaniard, I was unsure what they're going to do. Were they going to help me, or were they going to go for it? They decide to go for it. So at this point, they're deciding what is happening in this race already in terms of what I need to do. So we're going to head in towards Mulsanne then for the first time. And because there has been this big breakaway, bit of carnage at the start, there's not a huge amount of issues there. French driver goes very slow through Mulsanne corner. The Spaniard takes full advantage of that, gets a position. Play. There's a little bit of contact there, nothing major. So I'm like, well, if this French driver is going to go that slow into that turn, I'm a bit worried about Indianapolis and Arnage. They come across there, a little bit of a wiggle. Wasn't too happy with that, but it's not the end of the world. I'll start to look on the inside here, but I'm like, nah, let's not risk it this first lap. So I'm just going to back out of this a little bit, let off a little bit more, and in towards the braking zone we go. And it's status quo for now. They got a little bit deep there as we continue on. Now, heads in towards Arnage. We're using our normal brake marker here, but I will explain that on the lap guide, of course, as we go into the right. So the way to drive this car is literally drive it as if it's a wet weather racing in Group 3. Like you drove Spa last week. Drive it the exact same, and you will do very well. We've got a run here, and I knew that the dirty air was going to be impacted here, so I wanted to get around them both here. So I go on the inside of the French driver, who then starts to turn in really early here. It pushes me. I was a bit confused by it, but we survive. We lose a lot of time to the Spaniard, and I say I was very confused. Lap guide time then. Turn 1, the total signs, our usual marker for turn 1. Use them as your marker. Stay towards the right-hand side. You're really going to want second gear for turn 1, this first part. Avoid cutting it that much. And then third gear, short shift to third gear here. Straighten up and off you go. Remember, drive it like you're in the wet. So you straighten up, then full throttle. Don't do it any other way. Heading towards this turn here. On the right-hand side, you've got that tannoy. Again, same brake marker we've used in the past. When that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to hit the brake marker. Fourth gear here. And be careful about the throttle. I would say, don't go full throttle. Be careful of the curbs as well. And you can see, we just do it fine on that second part, but do be careful later on in the race. Tetra Rouge, you just lift, through you go, and you should be fine. Without dirty air, it's not even a lift. You can flat out it, but with dirty air, you have to lift. Otherwise, you will run off, and you will get that penalty. You have a massive run on the Spaniard. And at this point, I know roughly what I'm trying to do here. I'm wanting him to keep overtaking me, wanting to see if he's going to work together. But I know he's going to go for the move. We saw it before, so... I'm going to head towards the chicane then. You're braking very late here, by the way. 100-meter board. Yes, that's right. 100 meters you're braking. And we're side by side here as well. I've just gone on the brakes. 100-meter board. Hard on the brakes, of course. And again, remember, drive it like it's in the wet. So we're just bouncing the car, bouncing the car, bouncing the bounce. Straighten up. Off we go. And then we can continue on with full throttle. I'm just going to bumper draft here because I know what I want to do now. Heading in towards this left-hander. I've lifted off early because I was so close behind them. You got a row of trees here. That last tree is your brake marker for this corner. I'm braking early because of where I was. Get to that last point in the tree. Then brake. Go into here. Now, I use second gear. Some people are using third, but I'm driving it as if it's a wet track. Second gear, straighten up, then full throttle. Let's accelerate a bit further on to Mulsanne corner then. As the curb, Petrie, I can't think of the word, comes in towards the track. That's the best way to describe it. Furthest part in towards the circuit. That's when you're going to brake. Going to drop to second gear here. Protrudes was the word I was thinking of then. Thank you, folks. And we continue on that again. Point, straighten up, then off you go. And then you can continue on and you won't get that oversteer. So, Arnage, Indianapolis, a good place to overtake here, of course, because then you're sort of ahead in corners. There's no slipstream. Porsche curves is the better corner, though. As we continue on through here. And I stick in the middle of the road because I'm like, I want this position now, my friend. Not you. And in we go. And in towards the braking zone. You want to get close to that piece of tarmac on the right side as possible. I'm braking quite early here, actually. And you'll see I have to lift off the brakes. And you'll see the Spaniel gets very close as well. So I lifted off a little bit there, a little bit more. And you can see I'm not taking that properly. So brake as close as you can to that tarmac. Usual brake marker are at Arnage on the right side. The last tree on the right, your brake marker. Nice and easy. When that gets to the edge of your screen, hit the brakes. First gear I would use here, not second gear. You want the rear wheels to really plant down as you leave this corner. Point, and off you go. And accelerate away. Now, I did not want to lose this position, but as you see, I was gaining time initially at the start of that acceleration zone, so we won't lose this at all in towards the Porsche curves, because the Porsche curves is just a slight lift. There is no braking involved here at all. Slight lift, keep it in 7th gear, round we go, we clip the curb. Spaniard behind forgets about dirty air, goes off to the realms, and you continue on through here. You're then going to do a slight lift here. You want to Drop to 6th gear now, and then turn in. As you drop to 6th, turn left, and then you make it through the corner. There's literally no braking in that zone, which is unusual, but it's the X 2019 for you. Right, the Ford chicanes. You can see I'm braking early here. You actually brake at that lamppost on the right-hand side. Braking early, you'll see I have to lift, and I'm really slow through here. But use the lamppost on the right side. 3rd gear initially. Clip the first part. Clip the second part. Get towards that curb. Before you hit that curb, you should start turning left. I've dropped to 2nd gear then for the second part of the Ford chicanes. And what we're going to do then is just try and cut a little bit of the first part. Get it stable through the second part. Once I'm straight, full throttle. Once again, nice and easy to do. Let's advance further on then, where we see Alex Play get a penalty here. So we're going to get into that slipstream. And then we are going to go for the overtake here. So you can see they got the penalty, but they're already nearly up to speed again. We're going to go past. And we're going to try the same strategy again, because that's the best place to overtake, of course. So in we go in towards the chicanes, braking much closer to that tree this time. I did try 3rd gear initially there, but I was feeling understeer, so I dropped to 2nd, and we continue on out of that corner. Now, sometimes you'll get people who will play it smart and want to do what you're trying to do, which is overtake at Indianapolis and Donage, or at the Porsche curves. Now, I always stick here to the left because I want to see what happens. Are they going to work together? I notice instantly they go towards the right, so I'm leaving it open. Brand, like, you can have that place, mate. I don't want to overtake you yet. But going through here, they go a little bit too deep, and they head off into the gravel. So I'm like, ooh, okay, this is going to get interesting now. So I was hoping I'd have enough of a run here to survive staying ahead of Alex Play GT83. So we're only 3 tenths ahead. So at this point, I'm like, I'm not really going to survive this. There's no way I can keep this position. I'm going to try, but it's going to be difficult. So heading into here then, I noticed they're going to stay alongside. So I lift very early here, and then they're going to get it done. Beautiful move here as well. But I know all I have to do is stay close. All I have to do is stay close, because the Porsche curves is the better place of the 2 places to overtake, because the dirty air, you can't keep up with them in the Porsche curves. So going through here, we get a brilliant run out of that corner. Again, 1st gear is the better gear, and I know I'm going to get them at this point. I know I've got the slipstream run here before the Porsche curves. Look at the run we're getting. Easy mode towards the left-hand side. I can take the racing line here as well, and we're going to go full on through this corner. Look at that beautiful stuff, and continue on through the Porsche curves. No problem at all. You can see that gap ever increasing because of the dirty air. Has to adjust their line. We don't have to really adjust here. Again, 6th gear, clip that curb, off we go. Could run that a bit quicker. That gap all the way up to 7 tenths, and now we're caught up to P1. So P1, again, I go for the overtake here. I just want to see what is going to happen. I'm trying to judge the driver accordingly. What are they going to do? Where are they going to do it? Etc, etc. So I go defensive a little bit here, in towards the braking zone, because I do want to overtake again at the Porsche curves. That's my goal here. I go a little bit deep. I think a beautiful run out of that corner. That's a brilliant run there by the Hungarian. And we're alongside. So at this point, you would go, or you think to yourself, why aren't you lifting and going behind? I don't want the place yet. I just want to overtake at the Porsche curves. That was my goal here. So in towards the left-hander we go. And I purposely stayed there for that reason. So in towards our Narge then. And I just have to stay close. I nail this right. So wait. Straight, off I go. And look at the run we get there. Easy mode. We've got a huge run. A bigger run than the last one. So at this point, I know I'm going to get this position. So it's just choosing where do they want to go. They do the exact same as the previous driver. They go towards the right. So I'm going to go towards the left. And we're going to get that position. And in we go. Slight lift. And job done. Job done. However, this Hungarian actually does something very nice and does manage to keep up and adjust their lines accordingly. So we notice we're at 5 tenths. It's dropping to 4 tenths. And it's dropping a little bit more there. We do that very slowly. They nail that very well. So up into half a second then. But then we've got the Ford chicanes. However, they misjudge this bit because they're trying to keep up because they know they have to. They go off and disappear. They pull a Houdini. Anyway, through there we go. And we are going to advance towards the end of the race then because we do win this race. Another win! 2 weeks in a row we win race C. How about that, folks? Happy days. I do hope you enjoyed this week's video. I've shown you some of the strategies, some of the sneaky tricks you can play. The 9,000 IQ strats, of course. Huge shout out again to GT Jägermeister, driver of the week for me. But that is it, as I say. So do give it a like if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in touch with all the content. We've got some streaming of daily races later this week. And hopefully I will see you in another video or live stream very soon. Thank you again for watching. Au revoir and farewell.